I just didn't want to talk about it because, like I said, she said something in one of those interviews that's probably gonna it's gonna play in her favor, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna play in her favor, but I think it's wrong, and I think that she doesn't even know what she said in that interview is actually wrong. Granted, the fact that people were doing it trying to help her out. All right, check this, right? Before we even start this video, real quick disclaimer. If you're the type of person that'll wear an Adidas sweatsuit with some Nike Air Maxes, this video is probably not for you. Like, you can't do the Adidas top and bottom with the Nike Air Maxes. Like, I hate that. This video is probably not for you. If you're the type of person that'll hit me up, say one of my homies hit me up or something like that, like hit me up Monday, yo, Black Friday, we going out to the club, popping bottles and all that, and then I call you at 10, I'll call you at 11, I'll call you at 1 o'clock in the morning, you don't answer the phone, and you hit me up the next day like, yo, my bad, bro, man, I've been working doubles, man, I just went home, sat on the couch, and fell asleep. Now, that's not the issue. The reason why the video is not for you is not because of that, it's because you know how hard it is for me to convince my girl that I need to go out with my friends, and the one time that I'm supposed to go out with my friends, I'm calling you in front of like, babe, I'm about to call him right now, because we're supposed to meet up at 11 o'clock, and if you don't answer the phone, now she all on my ear like, was you really going out? And I can't call you for confirmation. This video is probably not for you. And last but not least, if you're the type of person that'll hold up the whole McDonald's line, because when you get to the window, you say, like, I want a number one with a Sprite and I want fresh fries, I'll wait. And now you all in the line waiting and the people behind you hunking and stuff because you waiting for fresh fries. This video, you know what, that's probably not for me either. I honestly be doing that. Like, it's just something about McDonald's fresh fries, a little bit of salt in there. Them joints be so good. But anyways, like always, this disclaimer had absolutely nothing to do with this video, but let's get started.
A lot of in the saying they can't stand his raps. I'm so buffalo like I'm bandana black, but from the 716, we determined and we discipline. Oh, that's your man, better get him for you missing that. DJ Bandana.
Hey yo, what's good, Bandana fam? It's DJ Bandana Black, Mr. Well Connected, even more respected, Mr. Hashtag I Am Buffalo. If this is your first time on the channel, this is the first video that you watch on my channel. First off, shouts out to you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. At the end of the video, if you liked it, if you laughed, if you got some information, make sure you like the video and make sure you comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you watch any of my videos in the past, maybe heard me DJing on radio, maybe I came to your city, DJed a concert or something like that, you already know you're part of the fam. Heavy shouts out to the Bandana fam. You tied in with DJ Bandana Black. Check this, right? So listen, one of the most requested topics over like the last week that people wanted me to talk about was this Megan Thee Stallion situation that's going on with 1501, Rock Nation, 300, J Prince. It's all tied in together. And I want to say this up front. Before we even get into the video, I want to say this up front. I think Megan Thee Stallion is a phenomenal artist. I think that she has a lot of talent. And I think that everybody should be treated fairly. Now, with being treated fairly, there's going to be some things that I'm going to share in this video that I don't see anybody else really talking about. Maybe because a lot of people are not really privileged to the information. Like I said before, I've been in this game for about 16 years. In the music industry, I have ties to pretty much, not ties, but I have contacts at pretty much every label. There's somebody at every label I can right now in my phone call, yo, what's good, this Black, and chop it up, get information and stuff like that. Besides OVO, I don't got a direct connect with Drake and they can't, but I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. But anyways, I say that to say this. The reason why I didn't really want to talk about this topic is because I think that it's unfortunate and it's unfair on both ends. I think that Megan Thee Stallion doesn't really understand, like a lot of people don't understand how the music industry works, and like your what is it called? What you're supposed to do with your contract. And I'm gonna break it down for you, right? Like I said, I didn't see a lot of people talking about it. I know I checked out, shouts out to Jack Frost and BBN Network too. I checked out a couple of his lives, a couple of videos that he did too. And the thing I like about Jack Frost and BBN Network is because like a lot of the times he just said, yo, I don't know, but somebody tell me. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm not saying he's wrong or anything like that. Like I said, I love his channel. That's my homie. I can call him too. But I just want to give my aspect of it because I do have a little bit of, I'm not gonna say insider information, but I know how things work. So basically it's like this, right? So the reason why I'm saying it's unfair for both of them is because Megan Thee Stallion signed to 1501, that's Carl Crawford label, whatever like that. So when you sign to like an independent label like that, they didn't know that she was going to blow up. They didn't know that she was going to go on to make millions of dollars and millions of streams through that too. But they invest a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of their connections. Like Megan Thee Stallion, honestly, and I can tell you this from proof, from actual facts, because like I said, I'm explaining to you my inside information with it. They put a lot of work, a lot of money into Megan Thee Stallion. You guys would not know who Megan Thee Stallion is outside of Texas and maybe those little southern states, as far as big as how she is now, without that foundation. So for her to say, okay, I signed this contract with you guys invest a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of connections, we're gonna talk about the connections, to get her to a point to where she can get a deal with 300 and then later on get a deal with Roc Nation. And the way, shouts out to Jay-Z, I love what he did for the game. I love that he's providing opportunities and stuff with artists like that, but I honestly feel that Jay-Z, and I'm saying Jay-Z by saying Roc Nation because he owns Roc Nation, is wrong for a lot of, they're tampering with people, artists and contracts and like that. So basically what Megan Thee Stallion did was, she signed with 1501, they invested all this stuff, and then she went up a level. They did a little co-joint with 300 label. 300 label. Shouts out to 300 also. And then she went up probably like 10 levels. When she got up to the 10th level, she signed with Roc Nation as far as like a management deal. Like I said, when they were going through her contract like that, they're like, well, this isn't right. It's not that it isn't right. It's just that now that I'll explain it like this, right? Say, we real on this channel. Say you a Reggie dealer, right? Say you're a Reggie dealer, and I'm the loud man. So you selling little nicks of Reggie like that too. I say, you know what? Come work for me. I got the loud. You gonna be able to broaden your horizons like that. So what I need you to do is we're gonna have a 70-30 split. So I'm gonna keep 70%. You gonna keep 30%. Now that's cool at the moment because you were selling Reggie, so you broke at the moment. That's you perfectly fine with it. Our agreement is perfectly fine. But say 6 months to a year later. Now you moving a lot of this loud. Now you want to renegotiate. Like, listen, I don't really like this deal that we got going. Even though we agreed upon it, we say, okay, for the next 3 years, this is what we're gonna do. At the time, that's what you wanted to do. That it was fair at the time. 3 years later, well, not even 3 years later, we agreed to 3 years, and say a year later, then you like, well, I'm good. Like I'm making money. I'm making moves. I got connects. I'm moving it loud down here. Even places that you didn't help me to do. Let's renegotiate. Now, the reason why I say it's wrong on both parts, because I understand that person wants to move up. But if we agreed to a 3-year deal of you moving as loud when you were just moving Reggie, it's fair. It's nothing for me to renegotiate. Like, you wouldn't be where you're at right now if it wasn't for me. Same way with 1501 and Carol Crawford. She would not be where she's at if it wasn't for them. And she said something in the interview, and only reason I'm gonna repeat this because it's already out. She already said this, and I think that I can tell that she doesn't know the game, know the industry by what she said. I'm not gonna say what interview because I don't want to feel like I'm dry snitching, and this is probably gonna be a problem for 1501 and Carol Crawford. But she said something in one of the bigger interviews that she did when she was like, they did something for her. I'll put it like they did something for her to get her heard by a lot of people in a short amount of time, which is going to be hard for them to prove that they did it in a way that's okay. I'll say it like that. It's going to be hard for them to prove that they did it in a way that's okay. So they don't really have any bargaining chips with this. So when they go to court and they say, well, okay, what did you invest in her? What did you do to get her to this point that would allow for you to get the 60-40 split that you got? Technically, I don't really see them having a legitimate way of saying, like, we did A, B, and C. They might have to leave A out of the equation, but we did B and C. But B and C is not enough for them to leverage and say, okay, this is a fair contract. But A is definitely enough to do it. This is all going to make sense as they go further on. And I don't know if you guys watched the old video that I did about Jay Prince and 1501 and Megan Thee Stallion when she signed the Roc Nation. I basically said this. I said this the day that she posted that picture of it. I said, this is not going to turn out good. The reason why it's not going to turn out good, because you look at a label like Roc Nation, a lot of people say, well, Roc Nation trying to help her out. It's fair. Roc Nation can do a better deal. They can say, okay, listen, you'll keep 70% and we'll keep 30%, because they have a monopoly. They have all of the artists. So if you have 20 different artists and you only getting 30% by 20 different artists, then yeah, that seems fair. The artists are gonna be happy because they getting 70%. That's because you got 20 different artists. When you're a label like 1501 and you're trying, this is your groundbreaking artist, this is your star artist, your number one artist, you can't really afford to say, okay, listen, we only gonna keep 30%, you keep 70%, and we still wanna promote and get you out there as like a Roc Nation would do, because they just can't. But you knew that as a grown-up, you knew that when you signed that contract. Did you not read everything in the contract? Probably no. Did you understand anything in the contract? Probably no. Same thing with us. When we get the little updates on Facebook and say we changed our terms and whatever, accept this and everything is okay, None of us read all of that. We just know that we want to use Facebook, and at the time, I'm trying to get my stats on, trying to get my clout on social media. So yeah, you hit accept. But if you actually took the time to read what you're agreeing to, like real talk with Facebook, if you actually took the time to look at what you're agreeing to, you're giving up a lot of rights. They basically own everything that you post on social media. But if you agree to that, I'm a firm believer that your word should be your word, whether it's a contract or whether you say it verbally. If she signed a contract for 5 albums at 70-30 split, I think hers was a 60-40 split, then technically nobody's wrong for not renegotiating that. Like, it's a business. Like, I invested a lot of time, I invested a lot of money, a lot of connections, even with the Jay Prince connection. A lot of these shows, a lot of promoters, a lot of people that's rocking with Megan Thee Stallion, it wouldn't be if it wasn't for 1501. Now, as a young black lady, just as an artist anyways, should you always make more money? I mean, I'm a creator, so I'm going to be, not to be on my Joe Budden stuff on the side of the creator, but I'm also a businessman, and I understand it. If I take my time and invest into you to get you to a point, you can't, she didn't even put an album out yet. Like, you can't, well, she just put the album out, but when the problem happened was prior to it. But you can't, it's unfair for you to say, okay, you know what? I'm trying to get a little bit of show money. I'm trying to get a little endorsement deals and all this. Like, I don't really need you anymore. Which, granted, she doesn't need 1501 right now. But you wouldn't be in a position to where you don't need 1501 if it wasn't for 1501 and them investing the money and stuff into you. Like I said, this is probably going to make a lot more sense going further, because there's a lot that I can't say in it. But I know for a fact that even here upstate New York, in Buffalo, New York, that when I was one of the first people to play her record up here in Buffalo, New York, and when that record came, Megan Thee Stallion didn't DM me and say, hey, can you play this record? Or, hey, check out this record. 300 wasn't the people that sent me the record. Rock Nation wasn't the people that sent the record out. That initial buzz for her to get like the radio buzz, connection with different DJs, promoters on that too. That was 1501. Further down the line, yes, it was 300 because they have relationships with people all over the world because their CEO is like world famous and been in the game forever. But you can't just scoop up, like you can't, Rock Nation can't, well, obviously because they did, but it's unfair for them just to scoop up an artist that's bubbling and say, you know what, we can give you a better deal where you can make more money. And the artist say, you know what, looking at my contract, I do want that better deal. No, you signed that deal. Rock Nation would not be talking to you right now if it wasn't for Kyle Crawford, if it wasn't 1501. The whole Jay Prince thing, I didn't really know that connection until after the fact when he signed with Rock Nation. And that's why I was saying Jay Prince was sending a message to Jay-Z, because when you're a person like Kyle Crawford, not many people know him in the industry, but people know Jay Prince and respect Jay Prince. So even when he was saying, like, when she initially signed to Rock Nation, like, you can't just, you're not going to just take our artists, like, you're not going to take anything from us. I think he was right for that. That's one of the things I can honestly say that Jay Prince was right for, standing behind his man and making sure that everything was fair. At the end of the day, I want what's fair for everybody. I want her to have a fair situation. I want them to have a fair situation. We can't just always, because we like the artist, forget about the label. Like, they put, I can tell you for sure, 100% fact, they put a lot of time, they put a lot of money, they put a lot of connections. Sometimes connections is worth more than money. If you have the right contacts in your phone, that could be worth more. You can have a bag of cash right now, $20,000, and you couldn't do what someone could do with the right connection, with the right respect, and that comes off of time, building relationships and networking with that too. But I want to hear from you guys. Like I said, a lot of people hit me up about this subject. I didn't personally want to talk on it because, like I said, I don't want to come off as like, yeah, she should just deal with it. But I mean, technically, that's what you sign for. Like, when I go to my job, I sign for the amount of money that they pay me for. Am I worth more than that? Yes. Do I make them more money than that? Yes. Do I make enough money for them to pay me more and not be hurt? Yes. But that's what I signed up for. So you got to kind of leverage it. And without her having out an album, like, really, what are you leveraging? And then one of the things that she said in the interview too, that's probably going to hurt her if it doesn't go her way, was she got vocals with Pimp C and all these other artists. She kept saying, like, this is not my album, this is the EP that I had to put out. And I think that's all technical terms for, like, legal jargon that Rock Nation kind of put her up to kind of get out of her contract. But if you're a real fan of Megan Thee Stallion and you've been supporting her, then why haven't we got those records? You know probably why? Because she wants to wait until she's out of that deal to go with Rock Nation to probably get the little 70-30 split. I don't know, I'm not saying specifically 70-30, but they're definitely going to be able to give her more money and take less money because they have a monopoly. They have an abundance of artists. If you only have one artist, you can't really afford to do that. It makes no sense. Like, why would you invest that much money into them? But anyways, like I said, shouts out to everybody who do be sending me topics and stuff that you guys want me to talk about. That was one of the, I probably got a good 20-30 messages about this Megan Thee Stallion situation. I just didn't want to talk about it because, like I said, she said something in one of those interviews that's probably gonna it's gonna play in her favor, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna play in her favor, but I think it's wrong. and I think that she doesn't even know what she said in that interview is actually wrong, granted the fact that people were doing it trying to help her out. Well, anyways, it's DJ Bandana Black, Mr. Well Connected, even more respected, Mr. Hashtag I Am Buffalo. Remember, life is what you make it, so make it. I'm out.
East side of Buffalo, I reside. Head up, head down, no eye to eye. Always cooking up beef, we like to fry. Getting drunk when we're low and we're getting high. Yeah. 30 bras, all frogs, burn like hot sauce. Yeah. Flames in they panties, that's them hot draws. Yeah. Wearing that name brand, but it's knockoff. Yeah. Mess with the raw bra, you DJ Bandana.